I'm Mark Z, and you're watching Thorin, the best interviewer behind Travis Gafford.
Obviously, I like delicious gamer subs, don't I? Like, this is one of my favourite flavours, lemonade. Get 10% off everything on their store with the code THORIN, Thorin. Right, this guy here is one of those classic examples of someone who starts as a fan, but then you do, in esports, you either tweet about the wrong player, or you suggest someone will win a match that they don't think you do, or you do some outrageous, unforgivable thing, like you say you think someone's overrated, or they're just not that good, or whatever. So anyway, this guy does that thing, but are you ready? Spoiler, the ultimate reason to get to suddenly radicalize is politics, obviously. So he starts out as a fan, eventually becomes the ultimate hater. So we'll start in at the end as the ultimate hater. So I post here, and it's every time I'm posting like abstract philosophical thoughts that could be tied into politics, but with none of the names. Get ready for how triggered that makes this guy and how his brain gets broken. I go, people who will vote, this is October 11th for the election, people who will vote for the lesser of two evils will make the same compromise everywhere in their life. They are telling you they don't mind participating in and abetting evil as long as it's the kind they prefer. Because they're essentially admitting even their choice, even though obviously it's used often as a metaphor, their choice is evil. They're just saying, this evil's better than that one. So this guy goes, as if this has any relevance to what I just said. He goes, you follow so many racists on this app, it's insane. I'd say what's insane is apropos of nothing, just saying a comment like that. Like me going, hey guys, like, what's going on with the world? Is you follow a lot of racists on this app. Like, by the way, you understand, to even engage with that, we'd have to accept his framing. So I follow people that a random person called Barry Bostwick has decided a racist. Right? But why do I care? Who's he? Right? Why is he the authority on racism now? Also, by the way, am I missing something? Why can't you follow an account if the person is racist? Now, first of all, how you'd know they're racist, I have no idea. They have to post some really explicit stuff. But let's say they did. Why could their account never have value? Shall I tell you one that will really bake your noodle? This might actually blow your mind. Think about all those people who complained that I blocked them. Now, do you want me to let you in on a little secret? A good 90% of them used to follow me, even industry people. And because I have 190 something thousand, and I used to follow 300 people, if you remember back then. I followed all these like art accounts and philosophy accounts and politics accounts. And so back then, the premise was, I just saw, and in fact, it was even more likely I'd block you if you were like tweeting some insane shit or liking some evil thing about like cancelling my whole career or killing me in real life. If I saw you followed me, you're definitely getting the block, mate. You're out. Peace. I used to block those people. So what's hilarious is the same people who themselves would tweet that I'm a sexist and a bigot and a racist and the worst thing for esports and harming it, and I'm the reason why it's not big, they were following my account. So by this guy's logic, they all supported me. In fact, that means they did the things I did and believed the things I said and would say the things I said. Do you want to know a better one, guys? This is going to really bake your noodle. He follows me! So logically, if I'm evil and racist because of this, what does him following me make him? It never works that way because there's never a fucking mirror in these people's houses. Understandably, it'd be 7 bad years of bad luck permanently, wouldn't it? But there's never a mirror in these people's houses. And what do they never show, boys and girls? Self-reflection. That's right. There's no awareness of who they are, what their behaviour is, and the fact that if you're judging someone else, judge not, yes, you be judged. Well, I'm judging you back, and you've done the same thing, you fucking dunce. Then he goes, explain why that's relevant, random person. He goes, it's relevant because he's talking about evil while being a thinly veiled racist/sexist. Didn't think that needed to be explained. Yeah, things that mentally ill people conjure in their minds, they don't think need to be explained because in their mind it's there, it's a real thing. Understandably, it doesn't exist outside of their mind. So basically, if I tweet about evil, I have to stop following people he's decided are racist. That's really his tweet, by the way. He thinks it's a banger. Now get ready for how mental this guy is. Because what you're going to find is this. He does this all the time now because his brain's broken. So watch, another one. The giveaway that the man or bear question. Remember that whole thing of like, hey, if you were in the woods alone, what would you rather be with, ladies? A man or a bear? And they'll go, well, obviously a bear because you know how dangerous men are to women. So I just said, there's actually a point about how women think about the world and interact with men. I said, the giveaway that the man or bear question is a shit test / vibe check. If you don't know what that is, a shit test is when you first meet a woman or early on in the interaction, and she doesn't know you, she doesn't know where you stand, she doesn't know if you're the confident person, doesn't know if you'll actually like take a bunch of nonsense from her. So essentially she throws a bunch of shit at you. She'll say something, but you say that to all the girls, don't you? And what she's doing actually isn't trying to be hostile. She's trying to test what sort of man are you. Like, will you just roll over immediately? Will you be submissive? Will you be the simp? Or actually, will you actually, by the way, if you go too far the other, if you go, fuck off, bitch, well then obviously you're a fucking lunatic, aren't you? You can't even take like a mild bit of banter. What she's waiting for is you to come back with some sort of line that shows you pass the vibe check. It's not about what they're saying. It's about the fact how you respond to it, who you are. So what I pointed out is that's actually a social public version of a shit test and vibe test. It's a bunch of women going, well, I'd rather be with the bear, because then any man that goes, oh, that's ridiculous, a bear would do this, they know, all right, he's too serious, he might actually be a bit of a nutter. The guy who's actually the coolest guy out there doesn't give a fuck. He goes, yeah, okay, who gives a fuck, ladies? Yeah, you know what? You just do that, don't they? Go, all right. Tell you what, see you then. I'll pick you up later. They don't get beef. But what I'm going to point out now is there's a very obvious logical problem with that, which they haven't thought through. Because what are most of the people politically, in terms of what would you call it, orientation, who are saying they'd pick the bear? Most of them are going to be liberal/left-wing women, aren't they? And when they do that, the reason why I said this point, as I said, the reason you know it's a shit test/vibe check, it's not really about the idea that they actually want to be around a bear. And it's not about, they just don't know about bears. No, they're just making a point about men. They're sort of trying to say, I don't like men really. And then you're going, oh, all men, including me. It's like, you're supposed to go, no, oh, yeah, fuck the ones that are dickheads, but I'm a cool one. That's what you're supposed to think, guys. So in this scenario, I pointed out that their brain short circuits if you specify the race of the man. Because obviously, crime stats say certain races of men are way more dangerous to women. In fact, their exact demographic of women. So my point is, if they go, well, I'd take the bear. You go, oh, my bad. I didn't specify the types of bear and man. So it's a polar bear, and then the man is, and then insert a race. Now, if you insert a certain race, they'll still say bear. But I think you know, and I know, that if you change the race of the man, their brain would go, shit, I can't possibly say that it would ever be dangerous to be around that type of a man. Oh, fuck. Oh, what am I doing? I'd have to say the bear. And it would make, but it's it. The reason it would make a brain short circuit is they wouldn't even answer, would they? They just go, this is nonsense. I'm not answering your bad faith question. But it actually highlights the point I'm making, that's not that serious. And it's just a stupid thing to fuck with men that on the internet they think they don't like. So then let's go look some, but then he, because he's mental, goes, why is this something you think about? What self-awareness does he have? Logically, why, if my thing is shit and something not to think about, would you just post, why is this something you think about? Right, I have to answer why I follow people on Twitter. I have to answer why I thought about something. I can't just say a statement and respond to the statement. So far, we've had 0 responses to 2 statements. He's just policing how I use the internet. He's just an actual lunatic hall monitor. So let's keep going. And when you find out why he does this, you're going to be so disappointed. Get ready. It's going to be so, so sad. So, something about Monty, whatever. Let's keep going. Just some random stuff here. Here's a good one. This is the post that broke his brain. Right. It's one of them. Because he brings it up. In that same thread, people try to come back at him, right? And they're like, okay, whatever, go on. And then he's going back and forwards. He goes, it's not a presumption. They post racist stuff. And then here's his problem. While he was surfing the internet, he saw a racist account by his logic. And because it said on there, Thorin follows this person, which must mean I agree with everything they ever said, but I can't just follow an account like the tweets I do, and then just ignore the tweets I don't. I couldn't just, be a normal human like an adult. He goes, the app shows you Thorin follows this person. So by the way, he's a massive fan of mine, obsessed with me, and me following is the biggest deal. Not even the fact that the person has the account underneath the profile. I've noticed it like 10 plus times. Yeah, keep a track of it, mate. More can fucking tally. Thorin is a social reject incel. Now, because I follow a bunch of accounts, that makes me a social reject incel. You might just say, why would you think about that? Why is this something you're thinking? Because you're mentally ill. You've got nothing going on in your life, so this is what you're obsessed with. You're not doing something good with your life or someone else's life or the world. You think what's good is to police my Twitter like some mad unofficial commissar. So this person just goes, who cares? He goes, normal people don't want to be in an incel / yeah, this is a very normal person. I'll show you that much. Not true. He goes like, come on, it's so obvious he's a freak. He then takes a post where I said, women care more about violent third world thugs who would do them harm than frustrated incels in their bedrooms typing on keyboards. Lesson in there. The lesson there is actually about how you present yourself to the world and what potentially will actually have the results you want to have. I'm obviously not saying be a violent third world thug. That doesn't actually align with any of my philosophy or any advice I've ever given. But my point is, you're not getting anywhere by just being a guy just bashing away on your keyboard, being a frustrated incel or whatever they would call, or whatever you might consider that. So there's actually a lesson in there about actually what the response is. The response isn't just go, fuck women. Well, then you're just going to be that loser, aren't you? So when I say that, as you can imagine, everyone just wigs out. Like, again, I can't make an abstract point like that. I have to wig out. So he just goes, come on, it's obvious he's a freak, right? He thinks here what I'm saying is I'm an incel. I'm revealing that like incels are better than third world thugs, and I'm obviously an incel. It sucks that women won't fuck me. That's how mentally ill this person is, because he's done the left-wing thing. Since now he doesn't like me, that means I can't be competent, because competence is something men admire, and you can't admire me because he doesn't like me. And if he doesn't like me, I'm bad. It's not that he doesn't like me, it's coming from him. If he doesn't like me, I'm bad, so I couldn't be competent, which also means I could never be competent with women, which means I'm a loser, an incel, and a freak, and I've definitely never had sex ever, even though, again, do you know what an obvious thing you could say to someone who obsessed over whether, like, a video game person they followed online had sex would be? Why is this something you think about? But we all know why, because he's a fucking loser. So let's keep going. It's all about same shit I showed you earlier. There's the one where he originally said it, about following the racists. Here's another good one. So, the message isn't even up. There's just something here. And he goes, ha ha ha, of course, tags me. Of course he's following you. Losers tend to stick together. Get ready for the turn, guys. The turn, the payoff is going to make this all worthwhile. So we keep going down. Remember, I'm just a shit. This is like in the last few months, by the way. Right, take Khabib off this list and put Fedor. By the way, Fedor is the GOAT of MMA, or John Jones, in my opinion. But this moron doesn't think Fedor should be top 4. So he goes, how is Thorin always wrong? Get ready, because he's turned. I'm wrong about everything in the world, by the way. So get ready. So September, he has to actually say that I'm not that bad in some sense. Watch, we'll go up here. Industry people who said Carlos was tainted by his associations, yet who now work for the Saudis, often already associated professionally with the Koreans and Chinese, who had much harsher beliefs than he ever tweeted. It's actually a very valid point. So then this person goes, can you explain the lesson? He basically just claims, it sounds like you're saying, he starts arguing with this guy. Thorin always maintains he's in the process of technique. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Look at this. My favourite part of this one is Thorin stayed quiet when his podcast co-hosts defended industry people taking Saudi money, yet now tries to grandstand on Twitter. This guy is so stupid. He still thinks my point is nobody is allowed to take Saudi money. The reason I don't take Saudi money is, one, I am massively criticising them online. That would be hypocritical. Two, I just think if you've said, I even said it as well, I wouldn't work with Neom. If you said you won't work with Neom on those grounds, I also think you just shouldn't take it in general from them. It's always been about whether you're a hypocrite. That's anyone watching this knows that. It's only ever been about hypocrisy. But to a loser, they'll just delete that to make me wrong and a hypocrite. So I stayed quiet when people who weren't hypocrites took Saudi money, but I commented that people were hypocrites when they took Saudi money because they were hypocrites. That makes me inconsistent and a hypocrite because he's mentally ill. So you keep going down, keep going down, keep going down. If Thorin had a point that appealed to anyone other than Lama's lowest common denominator, he would have said it in his podcast, right? I'm also secretly putting stuff out there like dog whistles and shit. But look, no, I hide my dumbest takes on my Twitter page. It's not that on Twitter, it's text. So because you're mentally ill, you don't see a laugh or a smile or what I'm talking about. You just go, well, I'll just interpret why he said that. And then you're always wrong interpreting. No, it's that on Twitter, I'm secretly the real evil piece of shit. But in real life and, in like video, so more real categories where you're actually there in many more senses in the world, that's the fake me, that's secret, that's 20 plus years managed to keep this fucking insane method acting level up, which means that even Daniel Day-Lewis actually admires me. The fact I've never broken character somehow for the real me on Twitter that magically is only interpreted in lunatics' brains. So he goes, what I said is he hides his dumbest takes on Twitter. Right. I put my tweets out to 194,000 people to hide them, not put them in videos that have 10 to 50k views. You do the math on that one. You figure out the calculus there. He is confrontational, but knows a lot of his takes are retarded. So I just put them out to 190,000 people in the knowledge that no one will see that. So he conveniently only puts them on Twitter, says the person who's talking about his interpretation. But let's keep going. Let's keep going here. So we'll go down a little bit. He even replies to a random lunatic who just says this. So I said something about Pokemon, whatever. This person goes, Thorin is good in some areas of his craft. No, I'm not. I'm evil. I follow all the people. I'm racist. You're following me, so that makes you racist and evil. Poor in others. But I would bet every cent I've ever earned, he has never felt the touch of a woman. Let's go back up again. Randos and Pokemon trying to figure out investigative journalism on their own. It's like a funny joke about someone fucking something up, right? It all goes all over the place. So again, this person goes, I tell you what, I'll bet all my money you've never actually touched a woman. Now, what would the obvious retort to that be? You know it, guys. Why is this something you think about? I make a post on the internet. Oh, has he posted again? Here's what I imagine about his sexual interactions with women. Mate, it sounds like you're a freak. But let's get ready because I'm about to show you the payoff, then I'm going to go. So you keep going down. Same thing there, complaining, crying. Who the fuck were any of these Western clouts to chat shit about other people's associations? Can you tell me what political associations your Chinese employers have? Spoiler, if they're actually in China, it'll be with the Chinese Communist Party, quite literally. So I just say that. Now again, does he ever reply to what I'm saying? No, he goes, does anyone know where Thorin gets his propaganda? Right, it's propaganda to suggest maybe China isn't dope from the Communist Party. I'm just lost at this point. I think we can infer everything about this guy, by the way. You ready? If protesting worked, they wouldn't allow it. Use your head. This moron goes, that's conspiracy. This guy goes, Thorin has said he treats Twitter like a game and just types BS. But the thought he might believe this even slightly is so wild. When have I ever said that, by the way? I have said that you can do throwaway tweets, but I never said I treat you like a game. But the idea I could believe that protesting doesn't actually work and stop power, that's wild. Said people who've protested the Iraq war didn't stop anything. People who protested all sorts of things now didn't stop anything. People who protested, they protest everything, it doesn't do anything. What happens is the regime chooses to let the ones they arrange and they cover with their media. Those ones look like they win. That's called manufacturing consent, you fucking dunce. Maybe do a little Google. So same thing, look at this. So this guy's just saying some stupid shit. He's actually insulting this guy for trying to point out that I'm hypocritical about the Saudis. By the way, this guy's so mental, he's since then still continued to just insult me a million times. By the way, look, no one ever sees these posts, and no one, look, 16 views on this. No one ever, one person liked, 4 people liked, 3 people liked, 1 person liked. Just 1 million posts, by the way. So, in May, I explained that humans always shame each other. And that when you actually say that degeneracy shouldn't be shamed, then you create a vacuum into which people who would have shamed degenerates will now actually judge the virtuous and shame them instead, because humans want to shame. That's actually a core social component we have to sort of vet who is within our circle and within our social environment. So this person goes, this is not the type of video to make a grandiose statement on societal problems out of LMFAO. I don't need your permission to make grandiose statements about society, nor do I even need a video. You're just actually a mentally ill person just telling me what you think about all my tweets. So here's one. This person, it's this one where it's not available now, but it's where this, oh no, there it is. It's where this woman posted this video of her doing some cool shit with a stick, basically. It's sort of like bow fighting, if you know the shit from martial arts. But the problem is, the person themselves, who then got mad, said this stupid thing. They put, if you run into her in the forest, I pity the man and the bear. Right, first of all, the reason this is an utterly brain-dead take is because, first of all, the bear would fuck her world up so hard, it's insane. You are aware, say she started hitting the bear like that, one swipe, that's it. You're down, you're injured, you're bleeding. Help, please, help. What's going on? They would maul you to death, you fool. And then the idea, by the way, that I pity the man. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, if there's a man who has no martial arts or fighting ability, yeah, she could probably hold him off for a while. But spoiler, so many men could fuck this person up. I mean, by the way, why in this analogy would she have a weapon, but the man wouldn't? It's just a completely weird, fantasy thing. If you'd just said this about, Wonder Woman or something, this is all fantasy anyway, then cool, go for it. In that world, we can change the rules of physics. So this moron goes, the number of unfit, unskilled men, like you'd be able to tell by Twitter, by the way, claiming they can take her merely based on the fact that they are men. Yes, men on average are stronger. What's brilliant is when people like this say on average, they just mean there's probably some men out there stronger. It's no, you are aware when it comes to things like grip strength, it's something absurd. The average man would be better than 99% of women, including people who train at grip strength, for example. Spoiler, if you have a one-on-one fight with someone, if you know anything about fighting and you haven't just watched movies, you'll know grappling when you get close is an incredibly large and powerful part of fighting. And that's basically dominated by grip strength. If you don't know, one of the reasons Khabib Nurmagomedov was unbelievable in MMA wasn't just wrestling or top control or ground and pound or his stamina. Those are all great things. It's that you just couldn't get his hands off you. His grip was crazy. So as usual, a moron who doesn't know anything just picks a woman they think's really good and sort of goes, she would beat most of you guys. She's a martial arts champion against women. Come on, man. Come on. So I just put, You literally implied she would fuck up a bear. Or did you forget to mention that all bears in the forest need to be around her weight class too? Because an obvious implication, it's why weight classes exist in combat sports, is for her to beat an average man, they'd still have to be in her weight class, a similar height, etc., etc., etc. But conveniently, Catherine Brodsky forgot to mention that, because she really does, I think, in her brain, think that woman could beat 99% of men. She thinks this is some Black Widow shit, and that woman's just going to go fucking Matrix on everyone. Like, all right, love. So as I say there, she did literally imply that they'd beat up a bear. She then goes, the number of people say that they could take it. You did literally say that she would fuck up a bear. By the way, do you know how much a bear can weigh? I think a bear can weigh like 400 pounds, by the way, like 200 kilograms. Like, do you have any idea what would happen if that bear got near you or on you or hit you with one of those arms? That means one of its arms could be 100 pounds. You have no fucking clue. So in comes Moron. He goes, Thorin's a pretty normal guy, but he does one weird thing, says a guy who's criticised every tweet I've made for a year or something, or 2 years, we'll see. He's a functioning incel, right? If I have an opinion he doesn't like about women, I must be incapable of having sex with women. So logically, he's actually just defending women because he has sex with loads of women. I don't think he does. I don't think people who reply guide to people for 16 views over and over again for years actually are having a very sort of vibrant and exciting sexual life. In fact, I'd say it's the other way around. I'd say that real life reality, that they're a loser on the internet and off the internet, and the internet is the only place behind the shield of anonymity that they can get a little shot off at someone, is actually the result of sublimated sexual frustration and frustration in other areas of their lives. Maybe they aren't loved by their parents, maybe they just don't get any validation at work, maybe they're stuck in a dead-end job doing nothing, maybe they wish a girl would pay them attention who goes, bloody men and their sexism. They go, yes, milady, haha, he is an incel. Can I have pussy now? Oh, no. Well, it's all good. Just kidding. Unless... No. I respected the women's. There's no reason for him to be one. Imagine thinking you know what my sex life is like. Spoiler, I've had sex with people in esports. Now, look, you can insert your own jokes. Say, yeah, Richard Lewis and Monty. Listen, Monty was a fucking very good-looking guy once upon a time. And Richard Lewis, if I was gay, not actually, believe it or not, I mean, don't gay guys go for fucking bears? There's a type of gay guy who would fucking love that shit. I would even say certain people in esports, but you just don't know. He just can't seem to shake the urge. Right, this is where this guy is revealed he is spiritually female himself. Because when he goes, he can't shake the urge. He's actually implying that to him, incel doesn't mean involuntary celibate, someone who can't have sex and is mad about it. It's someone who just chooses to be rude to women. And so it's actually just essentially incel may as well be stinky, winky, poo-poo-poo-y man. So, as usual, there's nothing going on. Like, by the way, same guy I remember going, I don't know if that's supposed to make a grandiose. Why would any of these supposed to be anything for you to say anything on, you moron? I say this because I care about him. By the way, if I actually was someone who read these tweets without just bringing them up on stream now to roast them, wouldn't this just like degrade my whole mental health? How would this ever help? Say, a month earlier, laugh of the day, because they're so mental in Toronto that to play on the fucking diamond and play baseball publicly, you can't use a hardball. You're not allowed to use a standard aluminium bat. You are not allowed to be good at baseball. You are not allowed to score home runs. You have to underhand pitch only. The ball cannot leave the area, the whole fucking dream premise of baseball, and you can't even have alcohol. So I just point out, that's hilarious, isn't it? Why are you so weird, Thorin? Nah, I think you're pretty weird, actually, my dude. It's pretty much you. By the way, this is the only time I'll ever give you any attention. It's just to roast you, get a bunch of free money, and go and have a brilliant steak from doing so. Get ready. Remember about how he's really cool and I'm an incel. Get ready. So I just pointed out how mental this thing is, where this guy goes, why you shouldn't resist watching porn. This guy goes, I admire Thorin and Dr. K. Would love to see a conversation between the two about this topic or other topics they may disagree on. Why the fuck would Dr. K ever talk to someone as insignificant as Thorin? Says a guy who every month, multiple times, tries to contact me with messages directly. If he's as insignificant as you think he is, you would not be looking or commenting under his tweet. Compared to Dr. K, he is right. Pause. Do you know another thing retards on the internet do? They're nobody. They'll never be anyone. They've never done anything. So what they do is they go, I must pick a champion for myself. They pick a famous person, just a streamer, a football player, someone else in esports, a player, and they go, because I choose to like him and pick him as the person I will compare. Not myself, of course. No, never me, of course. No, never me, master. I basically vicariously take on his persona, his strengths, his status, and his accomplishments. So like, compared to Dr. K, you're insignificant. Then you literally don't exist. Like, I wonder if your parents even do think about you each day. If we're going along some solipsistic, like philosophical, if a tree falls in the woods but no one's there to hear it, did it fall? You might not actually exist. If the observer effect is actually like the human mind or imagination and consciousness interfacing with whatever Maya or reality is, then you actually are only existing in the context that I'm roasting you in a video. Aside from that, you just scream into a void. Like here, where you had 58 views, including my view now. And by the way, it's almost a year later. I'm a fan of Thorin's content, so he's so mentally ill, he's a fan of mine who attempts to, by his own logic, abuse me as much as possible, in the rudest possible fashion, also trying to point out my sex life, but he's a fan of my content. He'll take the free videos because he's just a shower of shit, but it's very niche. Well, yeah, no shit. I wonder how niche a video is, why you shouldn't resist watching porn. You degenerate fucking clown. Spoiler, he's just a coomer, isn't he? And I think he has a lot of bad takes outside of video games, likely due to autism. Ah, cool. Thanks for the diagnosis. Oh, another one. So this person was a Riot Games concept artist, and they described Mark Kern, who literally worked on StarCraft, Diablo 2, World of Warcraft, as a grifter when it comes to the topic of game design. This moron, you notice he'll never actually address my points. Thorin, your autism is showing. Imagine, by the way, if you actually liked someone, sending messages to them this all the time like this. By the way, that gives away what this person's like in real life. You know what's sad? You guys won't get this. This person actually thinks this is like fun banter, or they're like a friend who, if I listen to them, I could be a cool guy. And they're my pater or mentor, sort of teaching me the ways like Obi-Wan of how to like become cool. I don't know who Grums is. Well, you probably shouldn't ever actually comment on what I'm saying, which is entirely about the context of who Grums is then, isn't it? But every time I see him, it's some weird degen shit. Right, he doesn't think it's degenerate to watch pornography of like runaways, women who've destroyed their own soul, people who let anyone inside their hole. That's not degenerate. Degenerate is to, I don't know, promote like positive values in society. Brilliant. I think we know who this guy is. By the way, let's just check how many more there are. Okay, it stops in 2023. We can do this one then. This is all good. This is all good. Let's see where he broke though. Let's find that moment, because it's gonna be telling, isn't it? Because I already guessed he was a fan. All the haters are fans. The question is, what opinion broke their brain and made them think they're the social media equivalent of the Punisher, like putting the hurt on me for having an opinion they don't like? Saken is one of the biggest frauds to ever play in the LEC. To be fair, you've said the same thing about Nuke. I've never said anything approaching that about Nuke. I've always said about Nuke, aside from when he was on BDS the first year and he failed, when he was called Nuclear Int, and on Schalke, I've always said, actually, from 2023 onwards, he's like a middle-of-the-table LEC player, so not even vaguely a fraud, or actually in his best splits, he's upper tier, top 5, sometimes maybe even goes as high as number 3, but he is the poor man's Larson. So as usual, a fan of mine correcting me, doesn't even know my opinion, talks out of their arse. I wonder if they have a lot of sex with women, guys. It's going to all be about me being autistic, get ready. The lol you pay for Twitter angle has backfired so hilariously, now some of us get paid to tweet. It was always stupid, but has now become a self-report that your account is irrelevant. I know you're autistic, but the lol you pay for Twitter statements have always been directed at the irrelevant. Right. I am a relevant person. I get, even on this post, 20 replies. You get none. So I would have a much, much better idea of what the life experience of being someone relevant is. And spoiler, this will really blow your mind. The reason why I said that is because actually it's very famous that low rent IQ people basically say, you pay for Twitter, but to like a really famous person who has a check mark. And they go, lol, he's paying for Twitter. And it's like, yeah, you pay the $8 and then you get like back like double digits, triple digits, 4, 5 digits, depending on how big your account is. I've always pointed this out on Petty Grievances. There's a kind of moron who doesn't know the difference between high status behavior and low status behavior. So what they do is, he's right. If you were actually someone whose name was Barry Bostic and you had the check, then yeah, you'd be a fool paying for Twitter because you're never going to make fuck all back off it. And we could all laugh at you. The point is, every single month I have paid for Twitter, because I used to actually have the real verified one before that you didn't pay for. Every month I've ever paid for Twitter, I've made minimum double the money back from paying for it to get access to then the ads and all the rest of it and have all the features that you get of having the tick. But as usual, a dickhead know-nothing's going to tell me about what my entire experience is like because he doesn't get any interaction. This has 53 views. It's always been directed at the irrelevant nothing accounts who clearly don't benefit from it. So he's a moron. Cool. Nemesis is the only player in the history of League of Legends who people think is better because he doesn't play competitive and turns down offers. I think he... Right, get ready. This is like just, I like turtles. We were talking about tensor equation. Yeah, I like turtles. The green one is my favorite. But I'll take a yellow. That's like more like a frog, but you know what I mean. I think he's good because he can literally beat the best Korean mids in lane. Not in competitive though, dickhead, which is what I was talking about. Get ready. The Pabu guy talks mad shit on me. In your eyes, what is the worst thing Thorin has done? He's actually a fan of mine. This is only from February last year, a year ago, guys. This guy, who himself is going to repeatedly call me an incel and some sort of fucked up sexual pervert, what's the worst thing he's done? By your logic, hate women and refuse to have, and be incapable of having sex with them. Okay. I love the way they think if they keep saying that to me, like eventually I'll just do like a Shannon Sharp on Instagram Live or something. Congratulations to Nuclearin, who's my MVP for the series, where he got wrecked by Mad Lions. Mad Lions couldn't have won it without you and the full skill set you put on display. By the way, it's straight bagger tweet as well. Genuinely the Ian Miles Chong of fucking League Twitter, right? Think about Ian Miles Chong and how he tweets and what he tweets about. And do you agree that my Twitter's just like Ian Miles Chong? No. What I'm sure you'll agree, if you're actually someone with half a brain, is they just don't happen to like Ian Miles Chong. He lives rent-free in their head. So when they see anything they don't like, it's like they see a guy just like fucking crossing the street on the fucking red light. Bloody Ian Miles Chong of traffic. They go to the fucking deli. The meat's cut a little bit too thin. Bloody Ian Miles Chong of food preparation. Then they go to the cafe, order a burger, gets burned. The chef's a fucking Ian Miles Chong, isn't he? Mate, maybe you're just a little bit broken in the brain by Ian Miles Chong. With Ian, let's just have a commentary on Ian Miles Chong and me, right? Let's do it. With Ian, he's never been to the US. With Thorin, he's never even downloaded LOL. Right, guys, he's a fan of mine and watches my League content, as we've seen. He watches my League content. I've done thousands of videos, even though, according to him, I've never even downloaded the game. So I'm also a liar, even though actually it's quite famous. I've never lied in my professional career. Pretty good comparison. It's not vaguely a good comparison, is it, you moron? Please let this be real. Let's go see. It's not. It's just some... I don't think that's even him. I assume that's just him posting it to this person here. Guy with no picture posts picture to make fun of someone with picture. Think we all know what you look like, mate. Let's see. Oh, get ready. He is my fan. If we just go back 2 years, get ready. I'm starting to get around Thorin's I Am Esports because, frankly, it's personalities like him that persevered when there was no real money involved. They did it because they loved it. He's actually right on all this. He's nailing it. This is amazing, the former TSM jungler. And then enabled others to make money off it. Yet no sense of acknowledgement from people. Now, get ready. This moron who's told me off a time, get ready. It blows my mind when people say, oh my God, Thorin is so toxic, he should be deplatformed. You actually think I'm an incel, bro. Who is giving him a platform? He built everything he has. No one can touch him. If you do the hard work like he does, it doesn't matter how little devs and pros try to work with you. By the way, he's even failed as a fan. How little pros try to work with me. I get anyone I want for talk shows and interviews, even when I've talked mad buku shit to them on the internet or been on a desk or show and said they're shit at the game. He was actually a giga fan of mine and his brain just broke at some point. You pick where it started. Right, let's do it another. We won't go all the way back beyond this. Because now he's just trying to actually have convos with me. Every pro isn't amazing on the cast. You're just a pleb who can't distinguish novelty from quality. Banger tweet, by the way. I don't understand how cast is just having a convo with me. Before then, obnoxious, he's sending stupid shit for years. Then he tries to defend me about something I said about Marxy, etc. Get ready for the funniest first tweet ever towards me. I point out Captain Flyers didn't mind calling out Carlos by name, but he can't name check his friend, Nicole Jameson. Now, I can't remember something else now. Prim. I saw you appeared in her World's Hype video. Was that enough of a payoff? He goes, I thought you had me blocked from when I called you Joffrey Baratheon, because that's a great comeback. When someone goes, hey, you're lightly calling out EG, but you called out Carlos for doing tweets when your friend and someone you actually worked with and presumably received money from and were directly professionally associated with, seemingly abused a child to the point of, not a child, like a young person to the point of malnourishment, and then just fucked off out the industry with loads of the cash that they'd spent on like business class flights for them and their spouse or whatever, and then changed their name so they could just go on LinkedIn again. It's almost like you're not really in a position to call people out. What would their great response to that be? Ha! Remember when you blocked me because I compared you to a Game of Thrones character? Ha ha! Got him! So this guy goes, how does Thorin still have a platform? Says guy with 89 followers. By the way, my dude, 450k people saw my tweet. This person, biggest fan ever, man. The people that complain about Thorin will never have the ability to deplatform him. He serves a different audience. Mentally ill people who are about to break, apparently. They say no man is an island. We all need people who've got our back. And supporting me and the content on my channel are the following people. Matt Pugnatio Rajcula, The Concept, Animosity, Banediesel, Ben Glass, Jasun, Jensen Goh, Tosh, Toucan, and you know it. Always a special thanks goes up to my main man, Jerky's Minion. Do you want to ask a question for my video AMA? Do you want to take part in one of those lengthy discussions where I talk about whatever topics are on your mind? Do you want teasers, find out who the upcoming guests are, or maybe even to suggest a guest or a topic for my content? If any of those perks or others catch your fancy, well, put your money where your mouth is and join the Skrilluminati today, where? In the Patreon link in the description box below.